Hi all and welcome to my Diablo 4 weekly update. I think this is episode 4, maybe 5, I'm not sure. Look at the title, it'll have the correct information. So what I've been up to this week in Diablo, not a lot to be honest. I haven't done anything on my necromancer. I did a tiny bit on my mage yesterday. As you can see, all classes are now level 20 plus. I did 98% of a level on my sorcerer yesterday, and then the game crashed and I was like, well, that's it, I'm done, I don't want to do any more. I've got another 5 levels on my druid. That's now up to 25. So let's just log in and have a look at this one. I'll take a quick drink while we wait for the loading screen. Here we go. So we are now level 25 on the character. We are kind of a little bit winging it. We've got rid of Storm Strike. I find the transition between the forms annoying. So I'm only leveling, so I've gone Claw, taken Enhanced Claw, and then gone with Fierce Claw. We've got the Shred going at level 5. We've got Earthen Bulwark into Preserving. We've got Blood Howl down into Innate Blood Howl. We've got level 5 Poison Creeper into Brutal Poison Creeper. I'm not sure that's the right decision. So I think I might change it to Ferocious, but this seems to be working for me right now. We've got Trample into Savage Trample for the Spirit Generation. And we haven't gone anywhere near this yet, so we are down here. So the next thing is probably looking at taking one of these, probably Bestial Rampage, so we can do our Trample and then get the buff from that, and then get the buff from being in Werewolf and go from there. That's the idea. I can't have Grizzly Rage at the moment because I have 5 abilities or 6 abilities. I'll have to drop something in order to get Grizzly Rage, but honestly I'm probably just going to leave Grizzly Rage until I'm level 50, which honestly won't take that long. Gear wise, I've picked up this armor glove item with the oh, that music is driving me insane. Why is the music on? Go away. There we go, that's better. So gear wise, we picked up these gloves, so that is going really nicely. Once I find a better pair of gloves, I will rip off this power, extract it and save it. I don't know if it's in the codex or not, I haven't looked, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And then it's just leveling rares, so I'm not going to go too much into them. It's also leveling gear. So I've got a ton of these. I'm just going to build loads up and then go over there and try and get it. So I know I need about 400 or 500, so yeah, I'm just doing that. I haven't done much, as you can see. I've done enough to get into Kid Baroud to get the druid stuff done, and Fractured Peaks is there nearly. I can go and do the other 3rd stronghold level 30, but I'm probably going to wait until I'm at level 28 or something like that. I've got some of the areas discovered. I've done a dungeon and I've done some Altars of Lilith. What I need to do is go online and find a website that's got all of the listed side quests, and I'm going to put those in a document, and then I can start hitting the side quests on the characters. I'm not having to worry about not completing any, so I don't forget which ones are done. I haven't picked up any ore veins or herbs on this character for fear of getting the side quest. So that'll be done. I'm going to spend some time doing that over the next few days, so each of the characters can engage in the side quests and go for that 100% on every character in every zone. It is a long cool thing, but I've got plenty of time and that's what I'm going to be doing. So that's the druid. Not much going on at the moment. I'm just doing Tree of Whispery things and discovering some areas, getting the odd statue of Lilith here and there, and that seems to be getting my XP up quite nicely. Let's just go and have a look at the other characters. As I said, I've done very little with the sorcerer and the necromancer. I've just basically got them to level 20 and then they've been sat there. The barb hasn't been done anything with either. He's still level 50. I've played him for a little bit, but honestly, I don't like any of the barbarian builds. That's the issue. I don't like any of the barbarian builds. I don't like Hota because it's not so much the builds, it's the fact that you are constantly out of fury. On Hota, when you're leveling, you kind of hit twice and you're kind of out of fury. Whirlwind, again, you hit for a little bit and then you're out of fury. You are forced to take 3 of your abilities are just shouts, which have ridiculously long cooldowns. I hate this character in Diablo 4. I've got it to level 50 and now I'm just like, ugh. No class in solo play should be resolving around these 3 things, but they are so strong and so powerful. You can't play without it. I've also taken Iron Skin because I prefer to level. Once I get to level 50, I'll be doing end game builds almost. Apart from Druid, because I know that Druid is reliant on very rare ancient extracted powers. So that's my blockage on the barb. I hate the fact that I've got to use 3 of my skills are effectively shouts that I only use very rarely because I don't actually need them. So it's just 3 skills that are sat there doing absolutely nothing. The rogue has had the most work done. I've been spamming Nightmare Dungeons. I keep on hearing people saying in solo play you can't spam or reset a dungeon. I've no idea what they're talking about. I sat for about half an hour and crafted multiple sigils. So let me just go and show you what I did. Where are they? Here we go. So I did things like this. In World Tier 3 for World Tier 3, Witch Tower, Blind Burrows, Witch Tower, Blind Burrows, and a few others. There's like 4 or 5. I've followed Rax's guide to which ones have the most XP, and I just crafted sigils until I had a bunch. I almost filled up my consumables with these sacred things, a few potions, some whispering keys, and then I just sat there for most of one day and pogged out to 68 and then did the capstone dungeon, so I'm in World Tier 4. I don't like it because I'm 2 levels below, but trying to get up to 70 was annoying me, so all I did then is just did a dungeon, teleported back to Kavoshed, emptied my inventory and spammed another one, and I did 4 or 5 where are they? Ancient Lamets in one go as a solo player. No reset required. I just literally finished one, came out, cleared my inventory, went activated the next Nightmare Sigil, went in, cleared the entire dungeon, cleared out an inventory, and spent 3-4 hours just doing that, and it was fine. So I'm not sure why people say you can't spam the same dungeon. I was able to in very quick succession. I did 4 or 5 Ancient Lamets, then I did 4 or 5, I think it was Alderwood, I think is the other one, a couple of Witch Waters, some Blind Burrows, 4 or 5, and at that point I'd hit 68 and I was like, you know what, I'm bored of doing this, I'm just going to try the capstone dungeon. I died I think twice in the capstone dungeon, managed to get through it. I've also got a new build. We are now a Flurry Rogue. Let's just, where are we going to go for this? Let's just go outside. I'm not going to do a dungeon because today is, it's currently nearly 0600 hours. Yeah, I didn't think I could go. I hate it when people drop quest items like that on the floor. It's annoying. It's in the 0600 BST on Wednesday morning. I have got a lot of chores to do, so here we go. We are a Flurry Rogue now. I did the Death Trap dungeon build right up until level 65, and it was still fine. I did the next few levels, and it was fine. Went into the Capstone dungeon, my first attempt, and it was horrible. So I left. I had a look on Maxroll, had a look at the pros and cons list, and the one with the least amount of cons was the Flurry Rogue. One of the cons isn't even a con because you're a melee rogue build, and one of the cons was you're a melee build. It's like, well, yeah, that's not a con on a build, that is a melee build. That's like saying, oh, you're playing barbarian, well, all of your builds are cons because you're a melee build. It's like, yeah, but barbs are melee characters, so how is that a con? It's a barb. I don't understand the logic. Maybe that's my autism, I don't know. Anyway, it didn't make much sense, but yeah, so I've done this. I haven't taken dash. I hate dash. Dash doesn't stop. You dash through all the creatures, and then you're out of position, so then you have to use your Shadow Step to get back into position to do all your damage. It's horrible, so I removed it and went with Concealment because it's better. And it's only got a 20-second cooldown, which isn't that long, really. So what I do is I'm using in a site. You're supposed to use combo points, but I hated that because you had to wiggle puncture in even if you didn't need any energy to get the combo points. And right now I don't need to do that. I might have to change that as I go further up levels, but right now I don't need to. So the general idea is when I'm doing dungeon and I come up against the elites, I hit the imbuement, I hit the conceal, I then drop a trap, and then flurry. Boom, 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 boom. And if I need to, I will shadow step to stun. And that's what I do, and it works, and it kills things. And by the time I've killed that, everything's usually come off cooldown. Half the time, at least half the time, because of inner sight, I don't need to throw puncture. Yes, I know I'm losing out on the vulnerable, but I only usually need that for bosses or big elites with stacked affixes. Other than that, I can get away with just using the standard 4 buttons, that is conceal, imbuement, poison trap and flurry. So let's go through my skills and my gear. Just get back into town. There we go. So let's have a look at the abilities. Again, like I said, I followed the max roll build almost the same. Straight up into fundamental puncture, down level 5 flurry, into improved flurry, 3 points at sturdy, 3 points at siphoning strikes. Why you don't take 3 is unknown to me. It's so much tanky if you get that. Up into methodical shadow step. 3 points in concussive, 1 point in trick attacks, 3 points in weapon mastery, conceal through to countering stealth to get that guaranteed critical strike on the trap, poison trap into countering poison trap, 3 points in poison imbuement into blended poison imbuement. The reason we had to, this should be level 5, because the max roll one says you put 1 point into dash. I had to sacrifice 2 points in poison imbuement to get my countering stealth. I might drop this, but that I might drop this one at this point here and put 4 points into poison imbuement. But the enhanced stealth is just too good. It is too good, especially on a boss fight. If the boss lasts that long, most of the time it doesn't, honestly. 3 points into trap mastery, 1 point into adrenaline rush, 3 points into haste, and then down for momentum. We actually don't use an ultimate in this build, and honestly it doesn't need it, really doesn't. So yeah, that is the build. That's the skills. Paragon wise, I'm still chunking through. As I said, I'm only level 68. I'm still leveling my glyphs. I don't have a single one at level 15. I started getting this one up, but this has already got the bonus of the 40 dex, so I'm not bothered about leveling that up right now. So we are working on exploit because that does need the buffs. This is again the standard max roll. This is all on max roll thing. We've come through here. We've got exploit there. That's got the 25 strength on there as well, so we're not really bothered about leveling that up to 15 because we don't need to right now. And then we've got cheap shot there, and we're coming around for this glyph socket. The only reason I'm leveling up these two is because I need the glyphs. I need to put the XP somewhere, so I think I'm leveling up combat. That's the one I need to get to level 15 because that's the next glyph, and in the standard radius it doesn't have the 25 intellect, so I need to get that to level 15. So as I'm still leveling, I'm in mid game, so I'll be leveling that up as I do Nightmare Dungeons. Gear wise, we haven't got much ancestral gear. We are still in sacred gear, mainly because most of them were powered up, upgraded, imprinted for the capstone dungeon, and even though some of the ancestral ones are, because they're ancestral, they're not that much better than my upgraded gear, and most of my gear is or has got a few nice affixes, so I don't really want to be upgrading it. So that's the helm. There is the chest plate. I prefer surprise. Surprise is not a codex power, so you do have to find it. I've got 4 or 5 of them, and it's just nice to be able to use evade, and then their people are stunned. It does a tiny bit of damage, but you get that stun effect, so it's quite helpful being a rogue. You can just evade through stuff. Then we've got the pants. These are supposed to be the best, but I don't like the fact that it doesn't give me extra evade, and honestly I am thinking of dropping it and going back to my original boots, just purely because of the extra evade. I've got 1 evade at the moment, and while I'm in combat, especially when you're coming against things that are frozen or something like that, I don't need the speed, I need the extra evade. So I can evade, they drop the grenades, they stun, I can hit stuff with flurry, I then bounce away with evade / shadow step, and by that point it's where did I put my gear? I kept it. Where is it? There they are. So these are the boots I did have, plus it's also got the shadow step on there and an energy cost reduction and a movement speed, so I'm just going to change that out. Boom, there we go. I'm aware the Trail of Frost is chilled and therefore they are slightly crowd controlled, but honestly I just prefer having the extra evade, so that's what I'm going to do. Also it gives me an extra slot to put something on. These came with Wind Striker, I'm not sure I'll keep that, but that's that. Into the crossbow, there's that one with Edgemaster imprinted on there. Up into our amulet with cooldown reduction, energy cost reduction as well. That's fantastic. So we've got the flurry circle on there. That is a codex enchant. I upgraded this to include an imbuement. Again, none of this gear is really that great. It's just got a few stats on it that are helpful for the build. And then we've got the expectant sword here, and then finally we have got the condemnation dagger fully upgraded to level 5. I found 12 of these so far. Sorry, no, I haven't found 12. I've found 6 of these daggers so far. I have found 12 of these grasp of shadows, which I find really annoying. You get some uniques that aren't really uniques, they're dropping so regularly, and then you've got those really rare ones that most people will never see, and I don't I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But there we go. That's the build, that's the update. I'm not going to do any gameplay because, like I said, I've got chores to do that haven't been done. I am not feeling particularly healthy today. My medical conditions are kicking off. So what I will try to do is record some footage as I'm playing, like shadow footage, and then attach that in next week's update for the characters that I play at their various levels, which will make that video a little bit longer. But I hear you. I understand you want gameplay to see some of these characters, classes and specs in being used. So that'll be in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is the 004 one. The Path of Exile update is due out on Friday. No Man's Sky is due out on Sunday. I am working on a beginner's guide for No Man's Sky, but I'm not sure if it's worth it because it's a lot of time. But I'll probably do it anyway because I can. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.